Good morning, I'm Pastor Frank, and this is the Morning Coffee Break. Good morning. We continue our series on misconceptions of grief, and we've looked at a few different misconceptions of the misconception that outward expression, which we call mourning, of our inward grief is weakness. We talked about the misconception that there are stages and a set pattern that we all go through when we grieve. Those are just a few that we've talked about, and this morning we're going to talk about a couple more that I find very important. And the first one is the misconception is this: when someone you love dies, you only grieve and mourn for the physical loss of that person. And that is so untrue, because when someone you love dies, you don't just lose that presence, you lose all that presence entailed. For example, if a couple is married for many, many years, and maybe not even for many years, just a few years, but one of the couple is the sole provider financially, or even the main provider financially, and that person passes. Not only is there grief of the physical presence of the person being gone, but there's also grief of the financial security that once was there because of the financial provisions that loved one offered. But there are a lot of different things that we also lose. For example, we lose ourself. How many have heard or maybe you even said that I feel part of me has died now that I lost my spouse, my parent, God forbid, my child, a part of me. And so you have to grieve yourself, that part that you feel that you've lost. Sometimes our identity is so enmeshed with the ones that we love that when someone dies, you may hear someone say, or you may say it yourself, I just don't know who I am now. I just don't know who I am now that person is gone. And there are others like self-confidence, health. Sometimes when we grieve and mourn, we end up making ourselves physically unhealthy. But that's the loss of self. We also lose security, emotional security, financial security, maybe even a lifestyle that we've become accustomed to. And so there are a lot more losses than we think. Loss of meaning. Sometimes our hopes and our dreams are surrounded by the relationship that we're in. If that relationship ends, whether it's through death or whether it's through divorce, then those hopes and dreams are shattered, and so you have to grieve the loss of those. And so these are important for us to realize that it's not just the physical presence that we grieve, the loss of, I should say, of the physical presence, but there are other things involved in that presence that we don't think about. So just want to give you those things as well. And then the other one that I think is very, very important, and I may have addressed this, I don't remember, but the misconception is you should try not to think about the person who died on holidays, anniversaries, and birthdays. And that is such a wrong thing to say, to believe, because it's in the memories, it's in the celebrations that we find healing and wholeness. And so it's all right to mention the loved one's name. It's all right to recognize the loved one's birthday or anniversary if you are married. It's all right to remember and to celebrate that presence that was with you during holidays. Will it be sad? Absolutely. Will it bring back some grief? Absolutely it will. There's no doubt. But yet, by remembering, by celebrating, there is such a way that it provides comfort and healing. For example, okay, so you're married, and Your anniversary, you would do something fun, go to a musical or a play, or go out to eat at a fancy restaurant. And now that your loved one has passed, your anniversary rolls around, what do? Do you sit in your house and try to avoid the feelings? Do you isolate yourself? Do you suppress those? Or could you say, you know what? When we were married, we would go to this particular restaurant on our anniversary. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to that restaurant and eating and celebrating the life that was lived in your life. Will it be hard? Absolutely. But nothing good comes easy. And it provides healing and wholeness for us in our grief. So you go to that restaurant and you celebrate and you remember the good times that you've had and you enjoy your meal. Or maybe you guys go to a play. Or maybe you have a child. God forbid you lose a child, but your child had something fun. Maybe they went to Chuck E. Cheese's every birthday, or every year you went to Holiday World or Kings Island or whatever amusement park nearby. There's nothing wrong when that birthday rolls around to do that same thing in honor of the loved one, to recognize the love that you have for the loved one who has passed, but also the love that they had for you while they were living. Again, I can't say it enough. Things like that help us heal and become whole again in our grief. So I hope that today's morning coffee break has been helpful as we look at those two misconceptions. One, that it's not just the loss of the physical presence that we encounter. It's other losses that presence provided. And two, it is okay to celebrate and to recognize birthdays and anniversaries of loved ones who has passed. And I hope that in those celebrations that you will find healing and wholeness for your grief. Just a reminder, tonight is Monday, the 23rd, or 22nd, I'm sorry, the 22nd. And tonight at 7 o'clock at the Connection Cafe on the corner of 7th and Central, there will be a grief and loss support group. So if you are grieving and you would like to participate in a support group and share and express your grief and your pain and learn from others, please join us at the Connection Cafe tonight at 7 on the corners of 7th and Central. Again, have a blessed day. I'm Pastor Frank, and this has been the Morning Coffee Break.